Welcome back to GillsMethod.com, where we have here the Nexus 1 from Google, and we're going to be talking about some of the things that in the past day or so that I've been using the phone have really been an annoyance. We'll first start with the fact that I have the phone in front of me, and in order to unlock it, you would think that by hitting the trackball or some of the buttons up here, I'd be able to bring up the screen so I can unlock the phone. I can't. I'd actually have to bring my hand up and hit the button located on the top right there in order to get the phone to unlock. And you slide it back up and then you can unlock the phone. One of the other things that I've found to be quite an annoyance, and this all depends on what surface you're placing the phone on when you're listening to music, is that the speaker is actually located on the back of the phone. So if you place it on a surface like this, that's wood, it actually does not disturb the sound coming out of the speakers. If you place it on a bed or actually on a book, I found that the music coming out of the speaker was muffled, and specifically when you're on the phone speaking to somebody, where the voice quality is different from that of music. Another thing that I question whether or not was a good choice in putting on this phone was the trackball. It's nice because you can go ahead and scroll through screens and whatnot, but really that's what the touchscreen is for, to easily navigate from one thing to the other. There's no need really for a trackball. I do like the fact that it acts as a notification system. It lights up to let you know when you have new emails and so on and so forth, but really it almost seems like, if you look at the profile of the phone, it actually adds to the profile of the phone. And if you know anything about Blackberries with trackballs, they can get dirty, they can fall out, and to be frank, it adds a moving part to a device that's pretty much solid state. That in and of itself is a quality concern. The buttons up here in the front of the phone, I've actually noticed that you have to get the hang of hitting them. If you don't hit them right or with the right amount of pressure, they actually won't work. I've also found that when the phone is placed down on a surface, you really sometimes don't get a reaction from the buttons. You have to hit it. In this example, you can see that I'm hitting the button, but it's not doing anything. Obviously, the phone's designed to be in your hands, but if you ever place it on a desk or just want to shut something off or get to something, that can be kind of an annoyance. One of the other things that it's really been trouble for me, that's required me to take pictures of the phone and video and all that, is the fact that there's no screen capture built into the phone as an app, or it's just part of the system. You actually have to go into a developer mode, connect your phone, or buy software to do it. And that actually is quite an inconvenience, because if you have something come up or anything like that where you want a screenshot, you can't do it. Another thing that I found actually yesterday when I went to work and I had a meeting and I wanted to turn the phone off, the ringer off, so as to not to disturb the meeting. This phone does not have a dedicated switch for to turn off the ringer. There is none. The way you turn your ringer off or put the phone on silent mode, you have to turn the screen on and slide this over, and it turns the phone on silent. And this can actually be an inconvenience because you can't slide your hand into your pocket and just hit a switch. You actually have to pull the phone out, find the section of the screen where the actual slider's at, and then put the phone off. Try doing that in mass, or try doing that in a meeting where it's frowned upon if you're doing that. Another thing I found is that in order to get to the SD card for storage, you actually have to pull this off, and you have to take the battery out. This, of course, is another annoyance because it takes about a minute or so for the software to boot up. And so if you ever need to change cards or anything like that, you have to turn your phone off. You cannot get to it with just simply pulling it out. I understand that software needs to be loaded on there, and you can't do that while the phone's running. That's probably why they did it as a security measure. not security, but more, you don't have software crashing that's running on the SD card. But it does present an annoyance, and it could be something that could be handled by adding more on-device memory. Another thing that I really liked about the phone, but then when I started playing with, actually didn't make a whole lot of sense, is the Car Home app, which allows you to mimic the look of a GPS device you normally find in vehicles. That just makes it easy to get to navigation, voice search, so on and so forth. You've got your phone set up on I presume an accessory that will be sold in the future, where your phone will be sitting like this, and you try to look up your contacts to find an address. Your contacts come out sideways. You think that it flip over to accommodate for the horizontal format here, but it doesn't. I did find that the contacts not being on a horizontal versus vertical was kind of annoying. And I've also found that through use, actually I had the music app crash a couple of minutes before I actually did this video. The phone is not as responsive as it was right when I got it. Now, I understand that there's applications running in the background and all, but I don't necessarily want to sit and sit there and start closing apps like I do with what I have to do with a Windows mobile phone or something like that. Using an iPhone, not even the Palm Pre, because the Palm Pre, if you're running too many apps, you've run into that issue. But in this case, it's something that you just have to keep in mind when you're running multiple applications and whatnot. You have to be on top of the task manager, and you can find that here under settings, application, running services, and that's where you find the applications that are running and how much space they're taking. Again, if you find that your phone's slowing up, and this is probably why you have a couple of things running in the background, because this phone does offer multitasking. You have to remember that you have to manage the applications. And that's it for today. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the video.